everybody. Welcome to today's Campus Rec Magazine Leadership Viewpoint. I'm here with Troy from Moody Nolan. Troy, if you'd like to introduce yourself and share a little bit about you and your position with our viewers today.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Troy Sherrard. I'm a partner with Moody Nolan. I lead our recreation practice here at Moody Nolan. I've been in the industry for over 30 years, so don't guess how old I am. I spent a good 20 years of that last 30 with Moody Nolan. We focus highly on higher education and primarily related to rec and wellness. Our kind of motto is improving student lives through design and impacting as many lives as possible. And I also add that I have 4 kids in college, so I am well versed from multiple perspectives that influences our work as we go along the way. So it's great to be here with you.
Absolutely, Troy. Thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you. So kicking that off, obviously you see a lot of collegiate recreation. So I would love to know, what are the common problems that you're seeing within campus recreation centers right now?
Ooh, this could be a long conversation, but let me see if I can keep some. Well, other than that, everybody loves rec and wellness, but most institutions don't fund it, right? So I assume a lot of people will react to that. So from an architecture and a design perspective, I'm sure they wrestle with a lot of things, but in the built environment, it breaks down to 2. Renovation and expansion focus versus new building construction. Some operators are living in an older facility and some are planning to build a new one. I'd say the challenges that they would struggle with from an older facility, most are wrestling with having a facility that was built for a different era. Meaning that most facilities that are 20 to 30 years old, and there are many that are even older, right? So the student population it was designed for was probably half of what it is currently serving, so many are busting at the seams. Health and wellness priorities across the country have skyrocketed, which is good for us, right? We're all trying to live longer and healthier lives. Being in the campus environment is the best place to be. That's why we love it. So I'd say the number one challenge is dealing with that. I would also maybe go on to further that. So not only are the facilities designed for a different era, but they were also, students are continuously looking for new programming and new things, so programming and operational tension probably continues to build with the spaces they have. So the focus, as always, in the architecture world is focus on flexibility. Flexibility, adaptability. We're seeing a lot of universities see the recreation environment, the large volume spaces, as perfect places to host events for the university. So therefore the operations staff is, okay, we have to serve students, but we're also serving events. So there's a lot of tension between those two. So I know those are some modern day challenges that we talk about often. And then the third one, I would probably lean a little bit more on the shifting student expectations. Students or their expectations continue to, I guess everybody's does, right? We all keep trying to move up in the world, but student expectations, we do a lot of student engagement. And we see a lot of them looking for more choice, more flexibility, more variety. Some group space, some like individual space. There's just a lot of variety that they're looking for now. And we get everything from, we love red light saunas to massage rooms to golf simulators. And they're all tangent to rec. There's the fundamentals of fitness and wellness and court spaces. But we're seeing a lot more variety, which is a lot of fun for us, honestly. It's a challenge for facility operators to keep these all front and center for students. And then we also find, if you shift gears a little bit to if someone's looking to build a new facility, we see a lot of the challenges from their perspective revolving around the notion of a misalignment between their institute's vision and budget and scope. So we come in as a national leader in this field and say, help them with that. And we learn along the way as well. But I see that as that misalignment is something they probably all wrestle with. Everybody's eyes are bigger than their stomach, I think is what the saying goes. But that's what we're here for. Or what the program they're given is based on data from 5 years ago. So getting data that's up to date and current is another thing we can help with as far as benchmarking and talking to them and comparable facilities that we're doing. Those two offer a lot of challenge going forward, and those then get to the point of the need for clear priorities. So part of what we do is sit down and not just talk about design. That's the fun part. That's what we all want to talk about and that we're all passionate about. But without a clear guardrails, framework, so we'll help these recreation communities get some clear priorities in line and help them align all these things so when they go to their leadership, they're a lot more informed, they've got a lot more stuff, and we're here to back everybody up to do great work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Troy. Those are some great insights onto the challenges, but of course, we don't want to just focus on the challenges. So I would love to know, what are your thoughts on solutions to these obstacles that rec leaders are navigating right now?
Yeah, so the solutions are, we obviously working together, we get to the solution. It's different for everybody, right? But we all know that flexibility is king, adaptability is critical. So when we look at spaces to help offset some of that becomes super important. There's, again, notions of trying to make sure getting everybody's alignment in priorities helps a lot. When you know when you're renovating a space, repurposing, renovation kind of modernizes the perception from students. But if you can also add some expansion to that, usually you can then take on the added program. So most facilities will be renovation expansion, and those will help a lot of those institutions get further. And if you're building maybe a new building, that we focus a lot more on how we're going to come together and right size every space doesn't need to be huge. We've seen a lot of buildings that are well organized perform better than larger facilities that are disorganized.
Definitely. Do you have an example, Troy, of a recent innovation or project done by a client that you would like to share?
Oh, we've got many where I would need way more time. This is the fun part of it all. So again, we just opened Michigan State's new recreation and wellness facility. We had a lot of fun working with that student and that organization. There's some great things happening up there. But what we heard a lot from the students was this notion of that desire to be connected to the outdoors. And we all say that, but how do you do that? So our full design up there was centered around the notion of a courtyard, and not just any courtyard, but we wanted a courtyard that was a third of the facility. So we introduced, they're called ETFE panels that we do in a lot of our sports facilities. So they have 3 daylight monitors, each of them larger than a basketball court. So the whole facility, it looks inward toward daylight and looks outward toward daylight. So when you're in the building, it feels like you're outside. The whole point of it is, students says, I love going to the rec center. If I could feel like I was outside while I was getting wellness and fitness, that would be ideal. So we tried to actually create an indoor environment that felt like outdoors. So that was a lot of fun. That'll be unique. I'm sure there'll be a lot of attention there. Another thing that was sharp there is it's an arboretum campus. The students love to hang out among the woods and the trees. So what we did is we tried to bring some of those trees into the facility, not live ones, but it's called whole trees, where we put the trees that we demoed from the site, they're scattered through the building. So there's a very earthy feel, very connected to nature feel, a little biophilia through the whole project that kind of it was a student's idea brought into the building to make it something sharp. Some other things I talk about is a lot of these facilities, the goal is to make them feel like home, right? A third space on campus where students are super comfortable. It's more than fitness and wellness these days, the social engagement. So we always try to create a lot of spaces for those that take place. So maybe they pass through the building in one day and they choose not to get involved, but the next time they see it, so we make sure that everything's comfortable for all students, so they will get more involved as they progress through freshman to senior year. Usually by senior year, most people are like, God, I wish I would have gotten involved earlier. So we try to make facilities that encourage that, not just pass through buildings, but encourage them to stop by. And these third spaces can introduce flexibility. So a lot of our campus rec facilities take on more healthy dining and nutrition. The University of Pittsburgh we opened about 6 or 7 months ago. The whole first floor is healthy dining. That was something that the students wanted. There's a lot of counseling and wellness. It's a 9-story rec center. So that building itself is a pretty amazing place for students. It's a destination. A wellness destination is what we call it, and it's more than just physical. It's mind and body and health and wellness and social engagement. So again, creating a facility that's a third space on campus is really important. The campus living room, the student union was that, but now the students are active, so that we like to call that the third space for all the students to be in.
Finally, Troy, I'd like to ask, what advice could you give to other campus rec directors, anybody looking to implement some of this more fun and innovative design?
Yeah, sure. I guess I would narrow it down to 3 or 4 things. And again, it's a conversation with them. They probably could teach me some things about what I should do and advice that they would give me. But I always like to say start with why. It's not just about square footage. We always go straight to square footage. How big? How much? So let's back up and start with why. What are we trying to solve for the students? How is this going to be the best facility? 5 years after being open, let's talk about what you hope is true, right? So start with why and start with that, and we can always get the data part filtered in. We have all that data. We know all the facilities, how big they are, how big each space needs to be. We have all that, but let's talk about what's going to make this project successful. That'd be the first one. Secondly, I would have a conversation about designing for change. We know what we know today. Again, after doing this for 30 years, yeah, we do some things the same, but we do a lot of things really different. So the goal is to design for change that you don't know is coming. So flexible, adaptable. It's not just about today's programs. Things evolve, things get better. Everybody's, whoa, how could this get any better? A year later, wow, that's better. We found a better way. Students are smart. Design evolves. We get more energy efficient. So again, design for change, not just for today's problems. I always like to say too, the next one would be, if students can't see it, they won't use it. So we'd like to try to make sure our designs are discoverable and always available. Nothing's hidden, nothing's behind, and this is one of the challenges of older facilities. They're real compartmentalized, a lot of hallways. The first thing that I want to say is I want to get rid of hallways, no hallways. So we always try to design a facility with no hallways. I know it sounds weird, but no hallways. So every circulation path is adjacent to an active area. So you never feel like you're in a hallway, so you're always available to find that new thing. So again, if students can't see it, they won't use it. So let's make sure our designs are making everything accessible and visible, which makes it a lot of fun. And then I guess lastly, I would say use these buildings to tell your story. Every university has a message. The University of Pittsburgh, their message was, we are transforming the campus environment to be focused on student health and wellness. So our facility is dead middle of campus, and it is mostly an all-glass building for transparency, that we want this to be the beacon of wellness in the middle of campus. And every day we want every student in the university to find their way through the building. So it is the heart of campus, literally, and it also helps bridge the hillside and do a bunch of other things for the university, but its primary focus is that transformational change, and the university's statement saying that we believe student health and wellness is a priority, and we're going to they put their dollars into it, and they want students who believe that as well. So use design to tell your story, and I can't think of a better one than human health and wellness. That's what we're all here, and we're all humans. We just got to pay attention to it and not let our lives distract from that message.